Alrighty, hello. So today we're going to be going over some tech news. So I'm looking at The Verge right now, and the headline is Google hints at a new Nest Hub. So it says here that the company is still committed to smart displays, and they are doing that because Amazon is doubling down on the category. Which, yeah, I mean, I think more and more people have a device in their house that's a display and smart, you know, like, and if not that, a smart speaker, and I think eventually they'll upgrade to a smart display. Because I think that, instead of having maybe in a room, like let's say a living room, you would traditionally have a picture frame or some sort of digital clock maybe. I mean, usually people have those like next to their bed or whatever, like back in the day. But let's say the closest thing in a living room would be like a picture frame, and in the bedroom it would be like a digital clock, right? Well, guess what? Modern version, you get this, you can have your photos, you can have the time, and then you would have the smart speaker built in. Boom, pow, right? I think it's good for Google to kind of keep going at that. But beyond that, me looking into the future, I think Meta is really on the right track with their Meta displays, right? Their smart glasses with the display in the glasses. So that's basically taking some of the components of your smartphone and putting them in the glasses. So that's a little bit of my thoughts on that. Also, with Google, another headline here that says introducing Gemini for home. So, both with with a lot of technology now, whether it's smart speaker or smart display or smart glasses with a display, there's going to be some sort of AI implemented into it. And I think that's a big component, right? Because I think, for example, with technology, I think we're going into a period of time where technology is going to become more and more invisible. And what I mean by that is it's going to kind of be more natural and blend into the natural environment or the natural world, right? So for example, glasses. We're used to glasses, we're used to how they look, and now they're going to have technology in it. Or in the future, it's going to be hidden in components of your home or built into the home, kind of similar to kind of like the older versions of technology that we have now that are in our homes. They're just going to be kind of updated to be smarter, more useful and kind of implemented in ways where they're not distracting, but more kind of naturally implemented. I think that's where naturally it's probably going to head, right? To be, and like the popular term is alignment. There's many different um, ways to describe it, but I think what it comes down to is with technology and AI and all of this, you know, we need it to align with what people want out of technology, right? And I think all of these technologies are slowly, actually now way faster. Quickly in some parts, slowly in other parts, medium pace in other parts, getting to that, natural technology, nature uh, hybrid, right? And getting to that alignment with a society and what people want out of it. We're not going to be living in a world that's just nature. We're not going to be living in a world that's just technology. It's going to be both, and they're going to kind of work with each other. Humans, nature, technology. You know, blended and created in a way that works for us, right? So yeah, wood cutting level is now 82. Right now, I think we're in like the awkward stage of technology, right? Um, or at least we were, and we still kind of are, where you have technology that's distracting and kind of sometimes gets in the way and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it could go in a direction where it gets even more distracting and stuff. And I think that's part of people's fears. But I think that you know ultimately, I think consumers um, will kind of vote with their wallets. And I mean, it can go both ways because the technology is a lot of them can be introduced slowly so people become used to it and don't notice it and all that stuff, things that they may later not like. But that's why we need to be educated and keep an eye on stuff and kind of be like, okay, you know, um, does this work for not only me, but for society as a greater whole? And, you know, I'm definitely not against, technology or AI or, smart glasses or any of that. Um, or I'm in general, I'm a very big fan of technology, but I also, keep in mind, you know, what are the downsides of one thing? What are the upsides? Where's the middle ground? That sort of thing. I think we all got to think that way, or at least try to. Logitech is, and this headline says, remastering an icon, introducing Logitech MX Master 4. So, the MX series is a very popular line of products from Logitech. So, you know, this mouse has it reimagines the user control with customizable haptic feedback, delivering subtle vibrations for scrolling, navigation, and selection. That's cool because anything that's like tactile when it's added to technology, I think if it's implemented right, it can really increase the positive experience. Of course, with this sort of stuff, I always want an option to turn it off if I would like, but it's also cool, that it's also cool when it's available for technology. But yeah, the tactile precision. They say that the tactile precision is ideal for tasks like video editing, design work, and data analysis. They mention a whole bunch of features here, but it's cool to see that technologies that are have been around for such a long time and are still being updated, even if it's you know little by little. I mean, sometimes it's a big upgrade, sometimes it's a smaller upgrade, but it's good to see stuff that you would not normally think of, but that would that work well, or that hopefully work well. Because I don't know, I haven't tried this mouse, but and products that are more traditional products being upgraded with modern features. I think that's good. Like I have an MMO mouse. I have the Razer Naga, and it has 12 buttons on it. Um, and I love this mouse. Whenever I'm playing an MMO, um, not really RuneScape, but I'm sure there's uses for it here too. But if I'm playing like World of Warcraft, cool mouse, and you get used to the buttons. And the cool thing about this one is you can change the buttons on it. I'm glad to see that mice are still being upgraded. And of course, the big one from OpenAI, Sora 2 is here. I've been seeing Sora videos all over my X feed, um, which is amazing. The things that I can do just blow my mind. So I'm excited to see what else OpenAI and Sora have to bring. And it's cool that they implemented like that social media, TikTok esque scrolling feature with Sora.